Good morning, and welcome to the National Press Club. My name is Emily Wilkins. I'm the Vice President here at the National Press Club and a DC correspondent for CNBC. We are here today on the 5th anniversary of the shocking and gruesome murder of Jamal Khashoggi. Jamal lived in Virginia with his fiancée, Hadija Sengainz. He worked at the Washington Post, just a few blocks from here, as a contributor in the opinion section. At the time of his death in Istanbul, he was a part of our community, and we feel his loss even today as a blow, a loss, a tragedy, and a horrible crime that has no justice. Jamal Khashoggi was a 2018 John Aubuchon honoree, the National Press Club's highest honor for press freedom. When a journalist is recognized with this award, it means we will stay with them and their case until there is a resolution. This was true for Jason Rezaian, who came home from Iran after 544 days. This was true for Emilio Gutierrez Soto, who was granted asylum after 15 years and will not be deported to Mexico, where he faced grave danger. And this is absolutely true for Austin Tice, and we press on for him after 11 years. We do not give up. And our message here today is that we will fight on for Jamal. We will fight for justice and a proper public accounting of what happened. 5 years is not the end of this case. We want justice for Jamal. We need everyone to come together to make this happen. The administration, Congress, media, even the sports community. This is not the time to rest. This is the time to press forward. For now, I ask you to take a moment and remember Jamal with me in a moment of silence. He wrote with passion and vigor. He was an idealist who wanted a better life for those without the capacity to make that life for themselves. He was an advocate for democracy. He was an advocate for freedom of expression and human rights. He was a journalist, and his unspeakably cruel death is the result of his work. Please join me now in a moment of quiet reflection for Jamal Khashoggi. Thank you all, both who are here with us today, as well as those of us who have joined us on the live stream. And now, as many of you know, Jamal helped launch an organization called DAWN, Democracy in the Arab World Now. They're hosting an event to mark the 5-year anniversary of Jamal's death on October 4th, right here at the club. And right now, we have with us a representative of DAWN, Mike Omerman, who will say a few words.
Thank you. We're marking today 5 years since the brutal murder of Jamal Khashoggi, a journalist and a thinker and a dissident of the regime that exiled him from his home. Jamal's murder was not an isolated incident. It was part of a broader trend of authoritarian regimes cracking down on free speech and human rights. In the years since Jamal's death, we've seen an alarming increase in the extraterritorial persecution of journalists and dissidents around the world. They're being threatened, harassed, imprisoned, and killed for their work. DAWN, the organization that Jamal helped found just a few months before he was murdered, continues to demand justice and accountability for Jamal and others who face transnational persecution and who have been silenced by it. These demands start at home. Whereas Jamal's death outraged the world and seemed for a moment to inject human rights into US foreign policy in the MENA region, today, unfortunately, that no longer seems to be the case. That's most apparent in Saudi Arabia, but not only. Following the killing of Shireen Abu Akleh, we saw how the US government literally tried to redefine accountability in order to shield an ally from scrutiny. This is unacceptable. Jamal was murdered for the power of his ideas, and because even in the face of mortal danger, he refused to remain silent. In demanding accountability, reform, and the right to write and speak truth to power, we must all do the same. With the exception of the moment of silence that we just took, let's make sure that Jamal's legacy, his refusal to remain silent, lives on in our own refusal to accept the targeting and harassment of journalists and dissidents. On behalf of Dawn, the organization that Jamal founded to help create a better future for the people of the Arab world, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mike. Well, thank you, everyone who could be here with us today. Thank you all for attending. We will keep fighting for justice for Jamal, and with that, we are adjourned.